progressive discipline means that you are going to look at taking the lowest possible level of action to correct the problem. However, if the employee continues to engage in some type of misconduct, that you are going to, this is setting the stage, if you will, for management to take a more serious action, more severe action down the road if the problem is not corrected. The other thing we want to make sure we point out at this point is that discipline, you know, that sounds pretty bad. It's definitely serious, but discipline is not like what you do to your 3-year-old when they're not behaving in the store. You know, you're gonna make them, you're gonna discipline them because they're not behaving. It's not a bad thing necessarily. It's not designed to punish an employee. It's designed to correct an employee problem. And that's why you want to take that lowest possible level of discipline that is available to you. Now, there's kind of 3 different stages of disciplinary actions that make up the progressive discipline ladder. And the first one of those are informal disciplinary actions. This little chart, you can find it in your participant guides. And the 2 lowest levels of discipline that you have are oral or written counseling and maybe a letter of warning. Now, these are considered informal because there's not a lot of rules necessarily that govern how these get issued. Consider it your first step, if you will. You're basically informing the employee informally, but you're going to document it, that they've done something wrong or that they're not doing something that they're supposed to be doing. So you can do that in a variety of ways. Counseling, we talked about, you know, in Susie's case, this behavior, okay? You can do that also in a kind of a informal letter of warning. You're basically warning the employee, this is what you did wrong, and don't do it again. Basically, that is what we're talking about, okay? You want to document it, and truly, you would be really surprised how many times something this simple solves your problem, and you never have to go further up this ladder. Now, remember, I said earlier, you always want to work with your human resources folks. Don't forget that step. Some places don't necessarily require you. The supervisor has most places, the supervisor has full authority to do counseling and issue a letter of warning. But I'm going to really recommend that you talk to your HR person. This is informal, and it doesn't necessarily count, so to speak. But if it doesn't work, you're building that, it's that first building block towards if you do have to take a more serious disciplinary action, you want to be sure that you're going down the right path to do that. Now, this is something that you as the supervisor, you're going to keep in your file. Doesn't go anywhere else. Goes to the employee. Employee's going to acknowledge that they got this information from you, and then you're going to keep it in the file. Now, there's no question that this is a really hard thing for you to do as a supervisor. No question. One of the hardest things you probably will ever do. It's not fun. Even if it's something you have to do and you know it's the right thing to do, it's not fun. So make sure you're prepared to talk to that employee. Take some time, jot down some notes, make sure that you know exactly what you want to tell them. Think about what they might answer to, you know, answer to your counseling. Maybe, what are they going to bring up as a reason or something that caused them to behave that way? Kind of try to anticipate some of those things so that you're prepared. A real good tip, I think, is practicing what you're going to say to them in a mirror. Go in the bathroom, close the door, turn the shower on so nobody else hears you, you know, clean the fog off of the mirror, and practice what you want to say to folks. You know, look yourself in the eye so that you're prepared to give this information to someone else. Sounds kind of silly, but honest, I swear it does work. It definitely works. Makes you feel a little bit more at ease when you get to that point.